Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rulla Alani, and today I will be sharing a story time, my dream proposal. So although I let you guys know that I had recently got engaged, I did not walk you guys through my proposal story, and I thought, you know what, you guys are such a big part of my life. You guys have been here from the start of my journey, and I think that it's only right that I take you guys along with me, just like we're besties, and tell you guys how everything went down. So I know this is not my typical video, but I thought it would be fun to share the news because clearly I'm over the moon about it, and you guys have just been so lovely. You guys have been sending me so much love and support, so thank you from the bottom of my heart and from my partner as well for just supporting our union and for wishing us all the best on this new journey as fiancés. So in order for you guys to kind of understand our engagement story, you're gonna need some background information. So my partner and I have been together for several years now, and we always knew that the next step naturally would be marriage. The only thing really stopping us was my partner's citizenship situation. So if you don't know, my partner is Indian, and he's actually been here on visa through his company, so they were sponsoring it, and it was actually expiring soon. So the next step is for him to get his green card. And so he had submitted his application like years ago, and as of I think early this year or last year, his application was showing that they were currently reviewing it. And so that was super exciting for us because he always told me that he wanted to get his green card by himself on his own before he were to propose to me. Because as you guys know, once you get married, it makes it much easier for immigrants to get their green card. But he was like, no, I don't want you to think that I'm just doing this for citizenship, which obviously that was not even a concern of mine, but it was more just him wanting to be a man and him wanting to get it through his job and through his own ways, so that when he proposed to me, he would be like here for certain and for good and not have any chance of being sent back to India, right? Because that is super scary, especially as someone you're going to spend the rest of your life with. Obviously, we've been wanting to get married for a while, and so earlier this year, we actually went to start looking at some rings, and I knew that, oh my God, like this must be coming soon, right? Because that was the first time we had gone and tried on rings together, and he got my ring size, so I was like, oh my gosh, this must be happening soon. But like I said, we were always hoping that he would get approved and that he would get his green card prior. Now you're gonna see why you needed that background in just a second. So come June, and my partner lets me know, hey, we're gonna go out of town these 3 days, make sure to block off your calendar, like don't take any clients. And I was like, oh my God, he must be engaging to me, right? Because up until that point, I mean, my partner and I usually plan things together, right? Like if we're going on a trip, this is something we would sit down and talk about and like choose the place and where we're staying and all that. But all of a sudden, like he had done this by himself. And so I was like, this must be the time when he's proposing to me. And so I was like, oh my God, I'm onto him. I know what's gonna happen. And I just had that gut feeling that he was proposing to me then, especially because it was like a surprise trip. He wasn't telling me where it was. He was just like, oh, we're gonna be by the water, so pack a lot of like bathing suits, dresses, like beach wear. So my radar was going off because I was like, why isn't he telling me where we're going? And like I even started telling him like, someone is proposing to me, right? Well, I guess at that point he realized, oh crap, it's no longer a surprise. She is now figuring out the plan. So he started kind of tweaking his plan. So initially his plan was to propose to me at that surprise vacation. But because I had kind of caught on and I had even told him, like, are we getting engaged? Like, should I be getting my hair and makeup done over there? Like, I started asking him all the questions, right? And he was like, no, it's not happening then. Tell me why 2 weeks or maybe just even a week before that trip, my partner and I are together one day and he is like, oh my God, I guess he had checked his application or something and it said approved. So he had been approved for his green card. And you guys, this is huge because keep in mind, this is something we've been waiting on for years, and it just so happened that he got approved the week that he had already planned the proposal. It is insane to me. Sometimes I think we try to control everything, but I think that there's always a greater plan, and there's always, I don't know, there's always God who's working behind the scenes to make things happen. And it was just fate, literally, that he had always wanted to get his green card prior to our proposal, and then all of a sudden, after years for waiting, he gets approved. So once he got approved, he's like, oh my God, honey, we are going out to celebrate. I am booking us a dinner this upcoming Wednesday. So keep in mind, this was the Wednesday before our trip, which was supposed to take place that weekend. And so Wednesday night dinner, right? Middle of the week, he like invites my mom and my sister, which is not weird to me at all because we've always celebrated things as a family. You know, even in the past when I've hit milestones, we've all gone out together. And my partner frequently takes my mom and sister out, you know, all of us as a family, just because he's an amazing masculine man and provider. And so it wasn't weird at all that we were all going to go to dinner. Now, this is all leading up to what I think is going to be the proposal on the weekend, right? I think it's all taking place when we go on that surprise trip. Well, now it's like Monday, and keep in mind our dinner is planned for Wednesday night. I actually picked out the restaurant. I picked Matu in Beverly Hills. I had never been there before, but it was on my list, and it's one of those course menus, and it's all centered around this grass-fed Australian Wagyu, which, oh my God, I'm a huge Wagyu lover. So now it's a few days before that dinner, and my partner is telling me, oh, you know, you should go and get your hair done before the dinner, and like, what are you gonna wear Wednesday night? And I thought it was quite weird because my partner like never asks me what I'm wearing. Like, he thinks I look good fresh out of bed, fresh out of the shower, no makeup, no heels, nothing. Like, he's such a simple guy. So when he started asking me like, what are you wearing on Wednesday? I thought it was a little bit weird, but then I was like, okay, it's a green card thing, you know. He's probably just wants this to be like a dressier event. And he was even telling me like, tell your sister, tell your mom, tell them to dress up, tell them to look nice. And I was like, okay, wow. So the restaurant is a very like nice, fine dining place, so I didn't think anything was weird. And so I was like, okay, yeah, why not? Screw it, I'll get my hair done, I'll get my makeup done. So I start making arrangements to get my hair done, my makeup done, and all this, and I'm like, wow, this is a lot, because I was already planning on getting my hair and makeup done that weekend for what I thought was the proposal, and now I'm like, okay, I'm doing this again on Wednesday. Like, man, this is a lot of getting ready, right? So Wednesday rolls around, I get my hair done, I get my makeup done, I choose my outfit. My partner sees my outfit and he's like, that's amazing, that's the one, wear your new shoes. And so I'm super excited, like, we're celebrating because this is a huge achievement, you know, like, especially my family. Like, my mom is so excited to know that her daughter's boyfriend is now getting his green card. This is just the next step in order to get his citizenship. So we're all over the moon, happy, we're celebrating, we're drinking champagne, we're just in such great spirits. So the plan was for my mom and sister to all meet us here at our apartment. We're gonna have some champagne and then we're gonna head to the restaurant. So that's what we did. We were all together, we're all celebrating, and like, I can tell my partner is like checking the time and he's like, okay, we need to leave. And he is like in his serious mode, which isn't a red flag to me, once again, because my partner is a very serious person and like, he's very adamant about being on time and all those things. So I'm like, oh, typical. He he's just freaking out about us being on time. It's all good. So we all get in the car. He's driving us, right? I'm not even paying attention like to where we're going, what the GPS is saying. So we're driving over, and because I've had so much champagne at this point, you guys, I need to use the restroom. And so my partner is like, we're almost to the restaurant, we're almost there. And I'm like, no, we need to stop now. So at this point, we're in downtown LA. And so my partner's like, okay, no problem. Like, we'll stop, you can use the restroom, and then we'll head to the restaurant. So, you know, we pull over, and it's like this valet for what looks like a hotel. So I'm like, okay, great. He stopped somewhere nice so I can use the restroom. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm probably just gonna go out and use the restroom and run back out. But I see that he like valets the car, and my sister and my mom and I all get out, and we're all in the lobby now using the restroom. So I'm just like fixing up my makeup a little bit, and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited for dinner. Everything's going great. So I come out of the bathroom, and my partner is like, oh, let's go upstairs. And I'm like, why? Like, we need to get to the restaurant. And he's like, oh, you know what? They just told me that there is like a rooftop bar up there, so we might as well grab a cocktail. And so I'm like, hey, that sounds awesome. Like, I'm always down for a rooftop bar. While we're in the elevator going up, I'm just like, holy crap, like, is this happening? I keep telling myself, no, it's happening this weekend, you silly. Like, he planned a trip. That's when it's happening. We're just grabbing a cocktail. So then we go up, and the elevator door opens, and basically how it is it's like this walkway, and there's a bunch of trees to the right, so you can't see what's around the corner. It's kind of like a big bush. So my partner and I are holding hands, and we walk down, and I turn once there's an opening between the trees, and my jaw drops. I see the Marry Me sign. I see all the candles lit up. I see all the rose petals laid out. I see a photographer. I see little pictures of us in picture frames. It was just one of those moments you can never really express in words. It's just a feeling, and it is one of the most beautiful feelings I've ever felt. And he took my hand, and he walked me down to the Marry Me sign, and he got on his knee, and he told me all the things, which I wish I could remember, but at that point, I think my vision just blurred out, and all I could see was him. And I was like, yes, like, of course I do. And it was just beautiful. Like, we hugged, we kissed. My mom and sister were cheering. Everyone wanted to see the ring. I was blown away by the ring. Like, out of all the rings we had tried on, none of them were of this carat size. None of them were as wow as the one he ended up picking. And I was just like, like in between looking at him and the setup and the ring and seeing my mom and my sister's reaction, and we were doing cheers, there was champagne, like it was just amazing. And he had the photographer booked for an hour, so we took a bunch of photos. I took pictures with my family, I took pictures with him, we took reenactment photos. And I was like, wait, so are we still going to dinner? And he's like, yes, we're still going to dinner, but he had just lied about the time. It was later that evening. So then I'm just in awe. We go down, he gets the car, we go now to Matu, and I'm just telling everyone I'm engaged. I'm taking like pictures and videos of my ring, and we just had one of the most amazing meals that I've ever had. I mean, even my mom, who is not really a steak eater, she was picking off my plate. I was like, excuse me, Missy, I'm a fiance. I just got engaged. Let me eat my meal. But she was just all in there. She loved every single course. We all absolutely loved it. We had cocktails. We enjoyed the night. And so I got engaged on a random Wednesday evening where I thought that we were celebrating my fiance's green card. So then the weekend comes, and I'm like, okay, I was wrong all along. I'm not getting engaged on this surprise trip. But my fiance later told me that the original plan was for us to actually get engaged on that trip. But once he had gotten approved for his green card, he was like, oh my God, this is the perfect way to make up a lie that we're going out to celebrate that, but then to do it on Wednesday when I least expected it. So everything just worked out beautifully. Like I said, God's plan is always the best plan. And even my partner told me, like, never in a million years did he plan or expect to get his green card that same week that he had already scheduled to propose to me. So then the weekend comes around and I still have no idea what we're doing or where we're going for this surprise trip. So I packed my bathing suit and some beach wear, and my partner drives us to Long Beach. So I'm like, are we going on Beau? Are we going on the Queen Mary? Like, I am like throwing out all these guesses, and he's like, no. We park and I'm like, where are we, right? So I get out of the car and he's like, oh, they need to weigh your luggage, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is weird. So we go in, and at this point I still have no idea what we're doing. And so finally they're like, okay, it's your turn, you two. So we come out, and there I see it. It's a helipad, and the helicopter is coming out, and we have our own helicopter booked to go to Catalina Island. So I've actually been to Catalina Island before, but never on a helicopter. So that was definitely an amazing experience. And we flew over. It literally only took 15 minutes to get there. So we land in Catalina Island. As soon as we get out of the helicopter, there is a car waiting for us with our names on the sign. So we get in the car, and the guy asks us, have you ever stayed at Mount Ada? And I'm like, Mount Ada, what's that? So come to find out, my fiance had booked us the suite that Mr. Wrigley himself used to stay in with his wife. And so we went to the most beautiful hotel, Mount Ada, which is actually just a 6-room hotel. And it's beautiful because the entire first floor is basically like a home, right? Because it's where Mr. Wrigley used to live. So there's bookshelves, and you could read any of the books there, and they have a little kitchen, and they have like all these seating areas and all these games, and every day there's just amazing food, right? It's all you can eat, all you can drink. There's wine and champagne, and we just had the most beautiful time in the suite. We watched the sunset. We actually went out and played golf, and the room came with a little golf cart, so we explored the island, and we just had so much quality time together. And at night we would come down and we'd play different board games, and we would drink wine, and we would enjoy just the entire home, right? The entire home was ours. And so although the suite was upstairs, we could come downstairs, and every morning they would have mimosas and fresh baked muffins and cupcakes and coffee, and then you'd come down and then there'd be a whole breakfast menu to pick from, and a lunch menu and a dinner menu, and the food was just absolutely amazing. And the entire restaurant was just wrapped around by this beautiful like seating space, and so there was balcony, and you could just overlook the entire island, and we just had the most romantic time there. It was such like a quiet, cozy place. It's not like your typical Four Seasons or Ritz-Carlton where there's a bunch of people and, you know, the pool is loud. It was just very quiet and romantic and cozy, and there was only like 2 or 3 other couples there, and it seemed like everyone was there for either an anniversary or a honeymoon or something like that. So it was just very romantic, and we just had the most amazing experience, and I was just over the moon. Like, I was still processing the fact that this was us stepping into this new chapter as fiancés. So I really hope that I explained it accurately, because obviously I'm still overcome with so much emotion about getting engaged and about the whole experience. It was just a week full of memories and laughter and happy tears and love and affection, and I couldn't have dreamt of a better proposal or a more amazing man to spend the rest of my life with. So that is my video for you guys today. Once again, thank you so much for all the love, all the support, all the sweet messages and comments I've been receiving. Like, you guys have no idea how much it means to me. I feel like we're all besties and you guys are like cheering me on. So thank you again. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I love you and I'll see you very soon. Bye.